Hello and welcome to the Evan Carmichael Show. I believe in entrepreneurs. This show is for you. It's about helping you get your business to where you want to be and building something that you can be proud of. I'm a little stressed out this week because tomorrow I am off to Malaysia. I'm doing a few keynote presentations and I'm meeting with the Prime Minister to help them plan their national social media campaign. And we had Monday off, so it's all crammed down into a 3-day week, which is crazy. But I love you guys. I have to be here for you on the radio show, so I'm excited to be here with you this morning. On the show today, how do you find your passion? How to stand out in a competitive market? What do I think about the TV show Shark Tank? And how do you get your logo designed? So let's kick it off. How do you find your passion? This is really important, okay? This is so important because if you want to have success as an entrepreneur, then you need to start a business around something that you're passionate about. Too many entrepreneurs go into business just trying to make money. If that's your goal, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. Look at the list of the richest entrepreneurs in the world. Look at how they got started, and money was never their number one goal. Money was never their number one goal, and yet here they are, the richest people in the world. They started the business because they were passionate about it, and that's what you need to do with your business as well. One of my favorite stories is George Lucas, created Lucasfilm, founder of films like Star Wars, Indiana Jones. And when he first got into the film business, he thought he'd never make any money at it. He was doing it because he loved doing it. He loved film. Everybody said it was crazy. You should go back and get a real job. And the first 6 years of his business career were just a total failure. Failure after failure after failure after failure. And he thought constantly about going back and getting a job, doing the smart thing, listening to the people in his life, the little man in his life who don't believe in what he's all about. And think about that. Would you keep going? Would you go past 6 years? 6 years of not seeing any results? Would you keep doing it? Would you keep going? The only thing that gets you through is that you're passionate about it. He said, I have to keep going. I don't care if this ever makes money. I have to keep doing this because I love it. I'll find another way to make money, but I have to keep focusing on this. That's when you know you're on the right thing. You're on the right path. You have to love what you do. So how do you get started? Now, I have an entire Zuga guide that walks you through step by step how to find your passion, but I'll try to condense that in a nutshell. You start by thinking about everything you're passionate about. Think about the things that you can get lost in. Things that you start at 9 in the morning, you look up and it's 5 at night, and you don't even know where the time went. That's the kind of stuff you need to be focusing on. And you need to find out how does that match up with something that's going to add value to other people's lives. Something that you love and that also helps other people. If you want to get paid, you want to make a lot of money, you have to add a lot of value to people's lives. You want to make a lot of money, you got to add a lot of value. You want to make a lot of money quickly, you got to add a lot of value quickly. And when you can combine those things, something that you love to do with something that helps people, that's the magic ingredient. That's when you're going to start making a lot of money and see a lot of momentum happening with your business. If you don't know what your passion is yet, don't freak out. Okay? Don't get scared. Don't get nervous. You may not know what it is yet. And that may mean you have to go out and explore. Try new things. Don't be afraid to reach out and try your hand at something. And don't put so much pressure on it that this has to be the idea. You have to listen to your heart. And when you find the right opportunity, you'll know that you need to keep going with it. Believe. I want to get to the calls. I have Terry on the line. Terry, where are you from and how can I help?
I am from West Virginia, and I just have a general question. I am looking at possibly opening a restaurant that I am definitely passionate about. I've been competing in chili competitions for years, and everybody tells me I should be opening my own restaurant, and I've really been thinking about that. And I'd have like 10 craft, just really good, solid chilies, and then some craft beer, and nothing too fancy. But where would I go to get a business? Yes, chili.
Gourmet chili. Okay, cool.
Gourmet chili, and then have some some craft beer, selected craft beer. Where would I go to get a good, solid business plan? What would you recommend me?
Is this that you have a great recipe on your own and you're trying to figure out how do I make this a restaurant?
Well, I do have, and then I also have access to a lot of world winners that would be willing to share recipes with me to put into the restaurant. And it would be like you could have I have 10 staple chilies, and of course I'd rotate like 2 new ones every month. And then you could have a bowl of chili, or then you could the second. It's going to be in 3 parts. The second part, then you could have it over something like over some French fries, or pasta, or rice, or tortillas, and then.
Are you selling this now, or is it just these are recipes you've created in your house and it's for your friends?
These are recipes that have been World Chili Championship recipes.
Okay. And other people are making winners. It? And now you want to make it yourself?
And I can make it. Well, no, I make 2 World Championship chilies myself, me personally.
Okay. And so you've gone to awards and you've won it at these shows.
Right. That's one of my hobbies is I compete in chili competitions throughout the world.
That's really cool. So, I'm getting hungry for some chili right now.
Yeah. So I am in the chili circuit. I know the chili circuit, and nowhere. And when I go to these events, there's thousands of people that line up just to eat chili. I mean, but if you think about it,
building a list of people who are loyal to you, like people who have bought from you, who want to hear more. Who, if you said, "Hey, I'm opening up this shop," they'll come up and line up?
Oh, yeah. That's what everybody that I know is like, you need to do this. I'm being pushed into it. I mean, it was an idea that I just started throwing out there, and everyone that I've mentioned it to, they're like, that's fabulous, because there's nowhere to go get chili. I mean, if you think of chili, you think of Wendy's. I mean, they branded, if you think about it, Wendy's branded one single bowl of chili, and that's where you go.
And so do you have the money to launch this restaurant, or this is what you need to plan for?
No. This is what my question was. Yes, I need a good, solid business plan, and I need, financial backing.
Do you know how much you need?
Where would you go? I'm estimating probably, because I don't want anything really, really fancy starting off, just something simple. Less than $100,000 probably, maybe even 50. That's why I needed a solid business plan to really see if the market would hold that and everything. So that. So
right, yeah, and you got to get that number down. Right, you got to get that number down.
I haven't even done that. I haven't even went that far. I haven't broke down like the ingredients in the chili and how much I got to sell the chili for. I haven't done any of that yet.
Okay, you know what I would do if I was you? Have you heard of Score?
No.
Score is a free resource open to entrepreneurs across America, where basically it's people with experience are giving their time and volunteering to help out entrepreneurs who are trying to make a name for themselves and get started and launch their businesses. Because what you need is somebody who is in the restaurant business, who has done it before, and can walk you through the step-by-step, because just having a business plan isn't going to be enough for you.
Right.
You are great at doing the chili, and you've perfected that. You're the best in the world at that. And now you need somebody to help you build the business side of it, who can talk all the numbers, who can get everything going. So you either need a business partner or you need the mentor. There's lots of places you can go for a business plan, but the hard part is actually implementing it. Because I don't want you to go out and take out a loan for $100,000 and end up failing. And it's not going to be because your chili is not good. It's because you don't know how to build a restaurant.
Exactly.
So I would look at Score. I think it's score.org. And these are successful, a lot of time retired entrepreneurs. They want to give back. They want to help out. And you can find somebody who's had experience in the restaurant business, maybe not in chili. Like, you have to bring the chili expertise, but they're the restaurant experts who can help give you advice and guide you towards success in building this thing up. Right.
And I would be willing to even take on a partner that knew that side of the business, because that's part of the business that I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
and there may be somebody connected to the chili world who, if you put it out to your network and say, this is what I'm looking for, they may come to you as well. Say, oh, I love her chili. I've tried it. It's the best. I'd love to partner up with her. There may be somebody already in the chili world who loves that, but also look at SCORE to find those advisors.
SCORE.org.
Yeah,
I'll do that as soon as I get off the phone.
All right, good luck, Terry.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No problem. Hey, and for everybody listening in, if you really want to do something, you don't have the skills and expertise, it doesn't mean you have to go out and learn everything yourself, right? Terry's the best at making chili in the world. So if she partners up with somebody who understands the business side, can help her open that restaurant and get her name up there, she'll have a lot more success. Welcome back to the Evan Carmichael Show. I believe in entrepreneurs. I want to see you have massive success with your company. And part of that is going to be standing out in a competitive field. No matter what product or service you sell, you're up against a lot of competition. And I get asked often, how do I stand out? How do I win business away from my competitors? My answer is to combine your passions, to do things that are uniquely you that nobody else can duplicate. Too many times in business, you're just picking one thing that you're good at, and that's what you run with, where the bigger success will be by combining different things that you love into one. And that's how you stand out from everybody else. Let me give you an example. A buddy of mine is an investment advisor, financial advisor, okay? Super competitive field. How do you stand out as a financial advisor? There's tons of them, and everybody sells the same product. You're all selling the same stuff. So his name is Steve. We went through this, and Steve's passion in life, besides investment advice, is hockey. Hockey. You know, he's the guy who watches SportsCenter replays and see the same goal 40 times and just loves watching. His wife looks at him and says, Steve, you're crazy. How can you watch the same thing so many times? I don't know. I love it. He loves hockey. So how do you combine investment advice with hockey? These are the two biggest passions in his life. And by combining those two things, that's what's going to make him different from every other single investment advisor out there. So how did he do it? Steve now is the go-to guy for investment advice for NHL hockey players. He combined his love of investment advice with hockey and going after high net worth individuals, right? Investment advisors, they all want to go after the guys with the big bucks. They don't want to deal with the people who have $100 a month to contribute. They want the guys who have millions of dollars. But everybody's going after them. And he can't just go in and say, hey, I'm Steve. I love investment advice. Here's why I'm great. Because that's the same thing as everybody else. He competes because he loves hockey so much. It's his deep passion. So now when he's going out and pitching people and talking to them, he can talk about hockey too, and they see the passion. And now he's the go-to guy. So when NHL players are sitting there saying, who are we going to go to for investment advice? Steve is the man. He has a lot more fun. He's making a lot more money. He's a lot more successful. And the turn only happened when he started combining his passions. So think about in your business how you can combine your passions. What is it that you sell? What is it that you do? Hopefully you're passionate about that as a first starting point. But what else is there in your life that you love doing? How can you incorporate that into your business? Because when you figure that out, you're going to have a lot more success and have a lot more fun, and it's a lot harder for any competitor to come in and scoop your clients because they can't be you. You are the differentiating factor in what you love to do. So stop trying to be like everybody else and be you. Believe. I want to get to the call. I have Heath on the line. Heath, where are you from and how can I help?
Hi, Evan. I'm out of Northern California, in Elk Grove, California.
Northern California. All right. What do you do?
And we sell into the irrigation and agriculture market.
Okay.
So we're not in construction, but we're actually a rep agency that we sell for different manufacturers that don't have their own sales agencies in the marketplace.
Okay, so you're outsourced sales?
Correct. And we've been running into a problem. Recently developed a new product. Actually, I developed a new product, and it fills a need. It fixes some of the inherent problems of its competitors in the marketplace. It's also less expensive, and it's been extremely well received by our contractor and end users.
Okay.
However, our main channel of sales is through wholesale distribution.
Okay.
And we cannot seem to break into the wholesale, even with the contractor pull. So that's kind of my question to you is how do you go about selling a product that has a resistance at the actual true or first buyer, I guess would be the question.
Why is there a resistance?
The main thing that comes up is that we already have too many of this product. So it gets instantly looked at as it's the same as the other, even though that they're, we've explained over and over again the differences and they do understand it. It's that main reason right there. We already have several of these, is what you're told.
Okay. My biggest thing when you're launching a new product is you have to reduce the fear. So
yes.
They're worried they're going to buy a whole bunch of inventory that just sits on their shelves. Or I guess they don't have shelves, but you know what I'm talking about. So
yes.
How can you make it so that you reduce the risk, so that they buy one or a small quantity, and then you help them promote it so they can see the difference and they can see that people want it? Because all you need is one store, one wholesaler to say, hey, this really worked. Then you can take it to everybody else because you have your proof of concept, right? Nobody's taking this on yet and is willing to do it. Nobody's taking that faith with you.
Correct.
So how can you reduce the risk so that it's such a low quantity and you're going to help them promote it? You work on one location, one company, make it super easy for them to say yes, and build your proof of concept with them.
The first thing that would come to mind would be some type of a guaranteed buyback for the distributor if they don't sell it. And then would just be us going out with their salespeople and promoting it very heavily.
Yeah.
Which we have done in the past, but it's very time consuming. But obviously, if we want to sell it, this is probably how we're going to have to do it.
And this is not necessarily going to be your long-term strategy. Having that guaranteed buyback is not necessarily something you want to lock yourself into long-term. But your goal here is to get one company having success selling your product and reordering. And you could take that as a case model to go to everybody else and say, well, that's what these guys said too, and look what happened.
I like the case model idea because that's exactly what we'd have to use to push to the next one or the next one.
Yeah, and you guys are expert salespeople, right? This is what you do as your business. You might be able to help train their guys and make their guys better at selling everything, not just your product, but everything that they have on their shelves.
I like using a single one and starting it that way instead of how we've been doing it as blanketing and trying to get everybody to bring one in, but look at one case study and go from there. Okay.
Good.
Well, you've done a lot of help. I am too. We've got lots of these ourselves.
I want every 2 weeks if you want to call in with an update.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. Hey, and for everybody call in and you're trying to launch a new product, you're trying to get awareness out there, don't try to hit everybody all at once. Just show that it works with one person, one company, get one sale, and make it work for them. Have them send glowing reviews out for you, and they'll help you do so much work to get everybody else on board. Hello and welcome back to the Evan Carmichael Show. I believe in entrepreneurs. I want to see you have a lot of success with your company. And part of that is getting access to resources and educating yourself and learning the things that you don't know. And I got asked recently by one of my YouTube viewers, Arturo, who wrote in to say, Evan, what do you think about the TV show Shark Tank? And he was a little upset with Shark Tank because they do a lot of flash deals, and he feels like sometimes they pressure people to make a deal on the spot, and he wasn't sure if that was a good thing for entrepreneurs or not. So let me back out a little bit on this before I dive deep. With Shark Tank, you got to remember this is made for TV, right? These deals are not happening in the 3 minutes that you see it on TV. They might be in it for half an hour, 2 hours negotiating something. Okay, so those deals do take time. Also keep in mind that just because you get a handshake deal, that doesn't mean anything. The real deal happens later, and a lot of deals actually fall apart afterwards in what they call due diligence. So you're both doing your research on each other. A lot of the deals that they shake on don't actually end up even happening. And as entrepreneurs, you know that you're getting into the Shark Tank, right? You don't go on that show without knowing what's going to happen, right? You know the questions they're going to ask you. You know the characters. If you don't, then you're not prepared, right? If you're going to go on that show, you should watch to see what's happening. Shark Tank has a special place in my heart because it's a whole series. So this show, this concept, became popular in the UK. It started in Japan, became popular in the UK, called Dragon's Den, and I helped bring it to Canada, where it became Dragon's Den. And then Mark Burnett brought it to the United States and named it Shark Tank. And he brought the two best Canadians with him from Dragon's Den, Kevin O'Leary and Robert Herjavec, to be on Shark Tank. So Mr. Wonderful started up in Canada on Dragon's Den, and he's still on it. For me, I love this show. I've seen, I think, every episode. I love this show. And I don't think that there's enough quality programming for entrepreneurs, especially on TV. Before Shark Tank, what was there? Nothing. Right? And look at how popular that show is. Look at how many people tune in and watch. There is an entire nation of people who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to launch their businesses, who are looking for inspiration, education, advice on what to do. And that's why Shark Tank is popular. So I think a responsibility that you have as an entrepreneur is to support the people who are on the same mission as you. So whatever you stand for, whatever movement you're trying to build, whatever you think is really important in your life, things that people need to know about, I believe that it's your duty to share those things and support the people who are trying to do great things. So I love Shark Tank. I'll tweet out about it. I'll share the episodes, things that I like about it. There's another show called The Profit, which is on CNBC. It's started by Marcus Lemonis. They're just starting their second season. And I love the show, too. Here's a guy who goes in, he's investing his own money into companies who are struggling, and he helps turn them around. That's the point of the show. And I don't know how well the show is doing right now. I hope it's doing well. But I tweeted out to Marcus and said, Marcus, what you're doing is important. Keep going. And I share episodes of the show, and I share some of the things that he talks about, because he's on the same mission as me. He's trying to help entrepreneurs. He's attacking it from a different angle. So I think it's your duty, your responsibility to reach out to people who are trying to do the same thing as you and support them, because there's going to be days where they doubt themselves or they feel like quitting, and having somebody say, you inspire me, you help me keep going, thank you so much for what you're doing, that could be the difference between them continuing on and stopping. The best part of my day is when I wake up in the morning and I go to my computer and look at my YouTube comments, because people are leaving such great comments about how I've helped them. And that keeps me going. So I love Shark Tank. I love The Profit. I love everything that they stand for in helping entrepreneurs. And if there's something that you believe in, you see some good being done in the world, support them. It can be financially. It could be as simple as a tweet. Just support them and let them know that what they're doing is important. Believe. I have Helen on the line. Helen, my producer says that you're very cheery, so I'm excited for this call. Helen, where are you from, and how can I help?
I'm an American citizen from France, and I'm so pleased
welcome to the program.
Be on the radio this morning. How are you, Evan?
I'm very good. I'm excited to have you here on the line. What's your business?
Thank you. Well, I own Kids Act OC in Orange County, California, in business for 13 years. I also have a book out called Eternal, published by Amy Osmond on Source Media Books. She's Marie and Donnie Osmond's niece. Okay. And actually, I have a question about my book.
Okay.
How can I increase the sales of my book, Eternal, and I also secure a movie deal for my trilogy. It's a young adult trilogy on a TV series or a network, pertaining to a TV series, or get a movie deal or a TV series on a network like the CW, for instance. Hello, CW people, call me. The book has received...
What's the message that you get out with the book? What do I learn from the book? What's the one thing that I'm going to learn from this book?
It's a young adult paranormal romance, and it's about the fact that love never dies. And so these two people throughout different lifetimes come back together, and that's also the concept for the TV series or the movie.
Okay, so what you need to do is build a community.
Okay.
If you want to get this book taking off, if you want to get a TV deal, movie rights, all of that stuff, you need to have momentum. You need to have a community of people to show that, hey, this is important. We love this book, and we love what Helen stands for. Or I guess Hélène. Is it Hélène?
Oh, you're so good. It's Helen, but Hélène in France, yes. Vous parlez français, Evan?
If your concept is love never dies,
yes,
then you want to build up a network. So you create a Facebook page, you create a Twitter account, and you're not sharing stuff just about the book because that gets too promotional. People don't want to hear just about the book, but you're sharing things that relate to Love Never Dies. So it could be from a different movie. It could be famous quotes that inspire you, that relate to love and it never dying. You want to support the people who are also talking about this. Just like I talked in this segment about Marcus Lemonis, the prophet, you want to reach out to other people who have the same belief.
Actually, I have a huge follow-up on Twitter and Facebook. I'm at HGNadel on Twitter, and I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, and it's Eternal Book on Facebook. So people are welcome to follow and like. Oh my gosh, was I supposed to say all this?
It's okay. The thing is here, it has to be bigger, right?
Okay.
What you're doing has to be bigger. So it's great that you already have a fan base, and I'm assuming the book is really good, but it has to be bigger. So when you're talking about the book, it's not just talking about the book, and it's not just promoting your Twitter account or your Facebook account. It's talking about this concept of love never dies and making it important. You want people who are listening to this radio show, who are listening to every other interview that you do, who are watching your Twitter account. If you're just promoting your book, people are going to tune out because it's not interesting. But if you're talking about love never dies and sharing inspirational ideas about it, then that's going to get people intrigued and interested. I want to join in. I want to learn more.
I like that. I've been sending messages because my fan base is very young, and I've been sending messages pertaining to text when you're there, because I want for kids to be safe out there. But I love what you're saying.
So if there are, you can even have quotes from the book. Whoever the main character is, you can have him or her giving inspirational messages that you quote. See, now you want something that people are going to share. You want a message that touches people, that makes them feel something, so they want to share it. They're not just going to share your Twitter account or the cover of your book and say, go buy this. You have to make them feel something first.
Right.
So you already have it. Like whatever inspired you to write this book, put that stuff together and use it in all your social media accounts and all your promotions. Make me feel something, and then I'll follow you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. This was amazing. This is a breakthrough. I'm very much.
Thanks, Hélène. Hélène, I've got to go. Good luck with the promotion, and keep me posted with it, okay?
Merci beaucoup, Evan. Take care. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, de rien. Hey, for everybody listening, stand for something important and put that message out there. You want people to share your stuff. It's not going to be by you screaming the name of your book and social media accounts. It's going to be by you standing for something important and making people feel something so that they want to come to you. I believe in entrepreneurs. I want to see you have a lot of success with your company this year, and I want your marketing to take off. And I got asked recently by an entrepreneur, how do I get my logo designed for my website? It's important. So there's a couple ways to do it, and my favorite logo story is Nike. Nike has one of the most iconic logos in the world, and it was designed by a University of Oregon student that Phil Knight paid less than $100 to get done. So even Nike was bootstrapped in the early days and built one of the biggest brands in the world. I have a few tools that I want to share with you that you can write down and go investigate that you may not have heard of before. So the first one I want you to check out is 99designs.com. This is a great resource to use for any design work, where basically you submit your design, your idea, what you need to get done, and designers from around the world will bid on it. And they'll actually do the work and create designs for you, and you get to pick a winner. So you only pick one design, you can give them feedback on it, and you're only paying for a winning design. So this is the biggest challenge that I had before with graphic design work, is you're looking at somebody's past portfolio, but you don't know if they're going to be helping you for what you want to do. Where here you're only paying for a final design. Another great resource to check out is Odesk.com. I'm a huge fan of Odesk, and it's basically people from around the world who are skilled at what they do, who work remotely, and you can put in a job request and say, hey, I need somebody to design my logo. Here's what I'm looking for. And again, people will submit their resumes and their past work, and you can pick someone. If you want somebody longer term, part of your team, you need a lot of work done, Odesk is the route to go. If you want someone just to create kind of one-off designs for you, then 99 Designs is the best way to go. And you can also look local. Hey, there's a lot of local talent wherever you are. Nike's logo was designed by a local University of Oregon student. That's how they got started. So look to your local community, look to your local network to see if there's somebody who can help you out. But you need to have a logo that stands for something, that makes you feel good, that you can proudly put on T-shirts and business cards and websites and show off to the world to help your marketing grow. I want to get to the calls. I have time for one last caller. I have Tony on the line. Tony, my producer, says you sound like a manly man.
Yes,
Where
sir.
are you from, Tony?
From Little Rock, Arkansas.
Arkansas. All right. What's your business? How can I help?
Actually, I have a taxi cab service. I designed it in 2005, and ever since then, business has been going pretty good.
Okay. What kind of service was it?
A taxi cab service.
Taxi cab?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So how can I help?
Well, actually, basically, I'm just want to what you want to tell you how everything about my business, or what you want me to tell you.
Well, tell me what your biggest. We don't have a whole ton of time. Tell me what the biggest problem is you're facing now. What do you need help with?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't need any help. I just thought maybe I was going to tell my story.
Okay. What's your story? Let's hear it.
Okay, basically, I started this company in 2005, and ever since then, I've been making over $10,000 a week. And all it is promotion. Whenever you promote something, it's basically on autopilot. And all I did is, created some flyers. I put them all the hotels and bars and restaurants. And whenever people need a ride, they just call me. And I started a ride to work program. When basically when people need a ride from there and back or whatever, I charge them. I created this card called Weekly Unlimited Prepaid Cards, and that's when they pay maybe $100 for the whole weekly card. And that way it's affordable and
When did you start this business?
2005.
2005. And how many people are on your team now?
I have over 20-some people right now, and basically I charge them a percentage of 10%. And say if they make $400 or so, I get 10% out of that. It's like $40. And
what made you want to start this business?
Because I had a hard time finding a job. I got tired of they kept telling me that they're not hiring at the moment and stuff like that. So I say, hey, I need to do something. I need to start my own business. And ever since then,
you're going to empower yourself.
Yes, I empower myself. And ever since then, I ain't had a job in 10 years.
Why taxi cabs?
I mean, because it's like I wanted my freedom to spend time with my family, and basically I just want to be my own boss and just call the shots or whatever. And it's basically like free money. You don't have to pay anything. You just basically just pass out flyers, business cards, and get on the internet and the phone book, and it just works itself.
Okay, so Tony, if there's somebody out there's somebody listening right now who is struggling to get a job, who can't, they've been turned down everywhere they're going, and they're kind of giving up, they don't know what to do, what advice would you give them?
I would have to say, they have to think of something that they're good at, and whatever they're good at, all it takes is basically just getting out there and promoting it. If you have to promote in the phone book or the internet, like YP, get on YP.com or Google, and it's a site called freebusinesslistens.com, where you can create your own websites and your own search engine optimizations. That way, when people search for you on Google, you'll pop up and they'll call you. And just create some business cards and flyers and promote every day. If you promote every day, you'll be successful for the rest of your life.
All right. Well, thank you, Tony, for joining us and for sharing your story.
All right, no problem.
Take care. Hey, for everybody listening, usually people call in and ask me they have a question, but that was cool just to hear the story and what he's up to. If you're in the same situation that Tony was back in 2005, where you're trying to get a job and you can't find anything and people are just turning you down, and it's on you. This is your responsibility. You can empower yourself just like Tony did and start your own business. Find something that you're passionate about. Find something that excites you. Find something that you can now start to feel like you're doing something valuable again. You have some good self-worth built back in. You have some confidence back in again. Empower yourself. Don't wait for the job to come. Don't wait for the government to support you. This is on you to be successful. Make your life successful. The cavalry isn't coming. I want to thank everybody for listening today. It's been a lot of fun. I am off to Malaysia tomorrow night. I want to especially thank my producers, Lauren and Fernanda. You guys rocked it again. I'm going to be on again in 2 weeks. I hope you call in. I want to talk to you. I'm excited to hear about your business and your progress. And until then, keep believing.